Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you.
I've got to talk to you.
Knock before you come into my pantry, Daisy.
All the characters are good.
Jean Marsh, the graceful British actress and visionary behind Upstairs, Downstairs, passed peacefully at her home in London at the age of 90, following complications from dementia. Through a career that spanned more than 6 decades, she gave voice to those history often overlooks, especially the lives lived below the stairs. Born in London on July 1, 1934, Marsh came from humble beginnings. Her mother was a barmaid, her father a newspaper pressman, and as a child, Jean battled paralysis and Bell's palsy. Dance and performance were introduced to build her strength, but they became her life's purpose. Jean began her journey on the West End stage before gracing Broadway alongside John Gielgud in Much Ado About Nothing. American audiences may remember her early turn in the Twilight Zone, and sci-fi fans embraced her as the fearless Sarah Kingdom in Doctor Who. Yet it was Upstairs, Downstairs that etched her name in television history. As co-creator and star of the iconic series, Marsh portrayed Rose Buck, the poised parlour-maid navigating Edwardian society. The show earned international acclaim and brought her a Primetime Emmy in 1975. Decades later, she returned to the role in the show's BBC revival, despite a minor stroke that limited her screen time. Jean also authored several novels and co-created The House of Eliot, a period drama about independent women in 1920s London. Her artistry was layered with empathy, subtlety, and a deep respect for working-class stories. Awarded an OBE in 2012, Jean Marsh leaves behind a legacy of elegance, resilience, and storytelling that gave quiet power to the unheard. Her work will continue to whisper truth and beauty into the hearts of viewers for generations to come.
Love's radiant sunshine in your lovely face.
Mike Berry, beloved British singer and actor, passed away peacefully on April 11, 2025, at the age of 82, surrounded by family. With a career that stretched across more than 6 decades, he brought charm, cheer, and timeless melodies to generations of fans. Born Michael Hubert Bourne on September 24, 1942, in Northampton, England, Berry began his musical career during the golden age of British rock and roll. He toured with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones before their fame exploded, and scored a major hit in 1963 with Don't You Think It's Time. His tribute to Buddy Holly captured hearts, and in 1980 he returned to the top 10 with a tender revival of The Sunshine of Your Smile, produced by longtime friend Chaz Hodges. Though music remained his first love, Berry also made his mark on screen. In the late 1970s, he joined the children's series Wurzel Gummidge and soon became a household name as Mr. Spooner in the classic sitcom Are You Being Served? He was the final main cast member from the series, remembered for his youthful energy and comedic timing. Remarkably, Berry never stopped performing. In February 2025, he played a sold-out show in London, a testament to his enduring appeal. In 2016, his rendition of True Love Ways on The Voice UK won admiration from judges and viewers alike. Mike Berry is survived by his wife Susan and their 2 children. He leaves behind a legacy of joy, rhythm, and laughter, a true entertainer who never lost his voice or his heart.
Since we have to say goodbye to your dear mother, and you're going to leave me to burn the sparklers and eat the hot dogs alone!
breaking headlines and heated courtrooms. Today, we step into the extraordinary life of Robert De Niro, a Hollywood titan whose piercing performances, personal resilience, and fiery public moments have kept him in the spotlight for over 5 decades. From Academy Awards to courtroom battles and late-life transformations, his story is anything but ordinary. What are your thoughts on this legendary actor's journey? Share them in the comments as we uncover the powerful legacy and recent revelations surrounding the one and only Robert De Niro. Born on August 17, 1943, in the heart of New York City, Robert Anthony De Niro Jr. was raised amidst art and complexity. The son of 2 painters, he inherited a sharp eye for nuance and emotion. That foundation led him to the stage at an early age, where he found solace and power in performance. Trained at the Stella Adler Conservatory and the Lee Strasberg Institute, De Niro honed a method acting style that would later redefine American cinema. He first caught attention in the early 1970s with performances in films like Mean Streets, but it was his role as young Vito Corleone in The Godfather Part II, 1974, that earned him his first Academy Award. From there, De Niro's reign was unstoppable. Taxi Driver, 1976, Raging Bull, 1980, The Deer Hunter, 1978, Goodfellas, 1990, Casino, 1995, and Heat, 1995, were not just films, they were cultural milestones. Each role brought its own transformation. De Niro gained and lost weight, changed his appearance, and disappeared into characters in a way few actors dared to. For Raging Bull, he famously trained as a boxer and gained over 50 pounds to portray Jake LaMotta's Descent. That performance won him his second Oscar and cemented his status as the actor's actor. But even legends face human trials. Behind the camera, De Niro's life was layered with challenges. He endured divorces, raised 6 children from different relationships, and constantly balanced his artistic drive with personal responsibility. The pressure of fame, family, and a demanding career would test any man, but De Niro never retreated. His health became a subject of public interest when he was diagnosed with prostate cancer in the early 2000s. After successful treatment, he became an advocate for regular screenings and awareness, participating in campaigns that encouraged early detection. His resilience was clear. Despite medical hurdles, he continued to act, produce, and direct. In recent years, De Niro has taken on new roles in both film and life. At the age of 80, he welcomed his 7th child, showing that for him, the chapters never stop turning. He also explored television for the first time with Zero Day, 2025, a political thriller on Netflix. While he admitted that the experience was intense and exhausting, it marked yet another milestone in a career constantly evolving. Yet, with his fearless spirit comes controversy. De Niro has long been an outspoken critic of former President Donald Trump. His fiery speeches and harsh criticisms have drawn both praise and backlash. In 2024, his remarks at a press event, where he called Trump a dirty real estate con man and a danger to the world, caused the National Association of Broadcasters to revoke an honorary award, citing the need to keep charitable events neutral. But De Niro did not apologize. He stood by his words, embodying the defiant spirit that defines him. And the drama does not end there. A prolonged legal battle with his former assistant, Graham Chase Robinson, made headlines from 2019 to 2023. Accusations of workplace discrimination and retaliation resulted in De Niro's production company being ordered to pay over $1 million in damages. Though De Niro himself was cleared of personal wrongdoing, the case highlighted the complexities of fame, power, and accountability in modern Hollywood. Even in the world of film, controversy has followed him. As co-founder of the Tribeca Film Festival, De Niro faced backlash in 2016 for initially supporting the anti-vaccine documentary Vaxxed. He later pulled the film from the lineup, citing public health concerns and his responsibility as a public figure. The incident sparked fierce debates, and De Niro's decision to withdraw the film was seen by many as a mature, if difficult, call. Through it all, he has remained committed to his craft. His recent performances in The Irishman, Killers of the Flower Moon, The Comeback Trail, and the upcoming The Alto Nights prove that age has not dulled his talent. Whether playing mobsters, fathers, or flawed men searching for redemption, De Niro brings depth and honesty to every role. Off-screen, he has embraced change with surprising openness. He publicly expressed love and support for his daughter Erin after she came out as a transgender woman, stating simply, "I love her as my daughter. I do not see what the big issue is." In a world that can still be unkind to difference, his words were a beacon of unconditional parental love. Robert De Niro's story is not one of perfection, but of persistence. He is an artist who has faced health scares, courtroom drama, public backlash, and family upheaval, and emerged with clarity, courage, and character. His legacy stretches far beyond the screen. It is a testament to grit, adaptability, and the pursuit of truth, both personal and professional. So, how does Robert De Niro inspire you? Is it his unshakable performances, his willingness to speak out, or his ability to evolve through decades of change? Let us know in the comments as we celebrate a living legend, a man who shows us that the most powerful roles are often the ones we live off-screen. If this journey through De Niro's life moved you, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your favorite Robert De Niro moments below. Until next time, thank you for joining us in honoring one of Hollywood's most enduring figures. Angie Stone, the Grammy-nominated artist whose voice resonated with wisdom, strength, and tenderness, passed away on March 1, 2025, at the age of 63, following a vehicle collision while traveling from a performance in Mobile, Alabama to Atlanta. Her journey was cut short, but her impact endures far beyond the stage. Born Angela Laverne Brown in Columbia, South Carolina, her rise began in the late 1970s as a member of The Sequence, one of the first female rap groups to break into mainstream radio with Funk You Up. She later transitioned into R&B and neo-soul, becoming a defining voice of the genre with albums like Black Diamond and Mahogany Soul. Her songs, especially No More Rain, In This Cloud, and Wish I Didn't Miss You, spoke to the heart, capturing the pain, hope, and resilience of love and life. Angie earned 3 Grammy nominations across her career and performed with a depth that reflected both her gospel roots and worldly insight. Beyond music, she brought her gifts to screen, appearing in Girlfriends, Moshe, and The Fighting Temptations, always carrying herself with authenticity. Privately, Angie faced health challenges, including a long-term condition she publicly acknowledged, becoming an advocate for wellness in her community. In late 2024, she overcame a serious illness with grace, continuing to perform and record. Just weeks before her passing, she shared online, "God gave me this gift, and I have shared it with the world. I have so much more to give." Angie is survived by her children, Diamond and Michael, and 2 grandchildren. Her voice, rich with soul, shaped by experience, will echo for years to come. What happens when the voice of a generation refuses to follow the rules? For over 3 decades, if you were stuck in LA traffic with your windows down and your soul wide open, there was one voice that didn't just keep you company, it changed you. Jed the Fish wasn't just a DJ, he was a cultural catalyst. Jed, born Edwin Fishgold III, passed away at 69 on April 14, 2025, following a brief battle with aggressive lung cancer. Though he never smoked, his life was filled with the kind of raw energy and unpredictability that once made Croc the wildest frequency on the FM dial. From the moment he joined the station in 1978, Jed brought a chaos that felt like clarity. His afternoons weren't just radio shows, they were theater. He cracked jokes between synth beats, dropped dragnet audio in Depeche Mode intros, and helped unknown bands like The Offspring find global stages. But behind the maniacal laugh and punk-style flyers offering to work for free was a deep, lifelong devotion to music. Jed didn't read scripts, he rewrote them. And when life pulled him down, he returned with more heart, more honesty, and a clearer voice than ever. He believed music should move people, and believed the person playing it should move too. No one who incorporates a golf swing into their dance moves should be considered dainty, he once joked. Jed is gone from the airwaves, but his frequency lives on in every memory set to the beat of the 1980s. What's one song you'll never hear the same way again, because Jed played it first? Share it below. Let's keep his sound alive. Lar Park Lincoln, the Texas-born actress who became a beloved face of 1980s television and horror, passed peacefully on March 26, 2024, at the age of 62, following a long and courageous battle with cancer. Her strength, both on and off screen, continues to inspire. Born Lori Jill Park in Dallas in 1961, Lar first won the hearts of audiences with her role as the telekinetic Tina Shepard in Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Her portrayal added unexpected depth to the slasher genre and cemented her status as a fan favorite. Around the same time, she took on the role of Linda Fairgate in Knots Landing, becoming a staple of American primetime television. But Lar's impact didn't stop when the cameras turned off. After navigating the challenges of show business firsthand, she made it her mission to protect and uplift the next generation. She founded Actors Audition Studios in Dallas, helping aspiring performers avoid scams and embrace the craft with confidence. Her book, Get Started, Not Scammed, remains a trusted guide for newcomers chasing Hollywood dreams. Lar also faced health challenges with quiet determination, having battled breast cancer in earlier years. Even in her final chapter, she continued to mentor, act, and speak out with resilience and warmth. She is remembered not only as an actress, but as a teacher, advocate, and friend. Her legacy lives on in the voices she empowered, the roles she brought to life, and the countless fans she touched with both strength and grace. To many, she wasn't just Tina or Linda. She was a guide, a light, and a reminder that courage wears many faces.
Corrected. But what if there is no truth left in painting?
Our next story is about a creative mind who changed how we see and read art. Mel Bachner wasn't just a conceptual artist. He was a philosopher in paint, a provocateur in punctuation, and a master of turning everyday words into something revelatory. And before we go deeper, what's one word that changed the way you see the world? Leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear. Mel Bachner passed on February 12, 2025, at age 84, following complications from a fall. But what he left behind continues to echo far beyond gallery walls. Born in 1940 in Pittsburgh, Mel grew up learning to paint letters by hand from his father, a sign painter. That early intimacy with language shaped a lifetime of art making that fused sharp intellect with biting humor. In 1966, he broke every rule with a Xerox machine and a simple idea. Art doesn't have to be a thing, it can be a thought. His early show, Working Drawings, became a cornerstone of conceptual art. But Mel never stopped evolving. He painted thesaurus-inspired explosions of words: contempt, old, blah, bright neon canvases filled with slang, sarcasm, and sometimes heartbreak. His work was about perception, the tension between what we read, what we think, and what we feel. In his later years, Mel used his art to confront deeper social issues, including anti-Semitism, memory, and history. His 2014 installation, The Joys of Yiddish, was both hilarious and haunting, a reminder that language can preserve or wound, sometimes both at once. Bachner once said, "If it isn't funny, it isn't art." But his legacy is more than cleverness. It's courage. He showed us that ideas can be as powerful as images, and sometimes even louder.
And then we mixed back the tape. How I got started, believe it or not, was
If you've ever lost yourself in the haunting riffs of Alice in Chains or the raw energy of Jane's Addiction, you've felt the touch of Dave Jerden. He wasn't a frontman, but behind the glass of a recording booth, he shaped the very soul of alternative rock. Dave Jerden passed away peacefully in his sleep on February 5, 2025, at the age of 75. For over 3 decades, he was a guiding force in the studio, a master engineer, producer, and quiet perfectionist. He began humbly in the late 70s at El Dorado Studios in Los Angeles, working with legends like Talking Heads, Frank Zappa, the Rolling Stones, and Herbie Hancock. But it was the late 80s and 90s where his artistry truly soared. From Jane's Addiction's Nothing's Shocking to Alice in Chains and The Offspring, his fingerprints are all over the records that defined a generation. He had an ear for the unconventional and a heart tuned to authenticity. Despite success, Jerden lived modestly. He once said he preferred an old pickup and small home to chasing fame. When he felt the industry was pulling him away from why he started, he stepped back, not in defeat, but in quiet conviction. He later co-founded Transformer Studio, nurturing new voices with the same honesty that defined his own work. Dave Jerden taught us that the best producers don't just capture sound, they capture spirit, and his spirit lives on every time we hit play. What's your favorite record Dave helped bring to life? Share it below, and let's honor the man who gave shape to the noise that moved us. Larry Bastion, the cowboy poet. Behind country music's most timeless lessons. Some songwriters put words to music. Larry Bastion put life into song. The legendary country lyricist passed away peacefully on April 6, 2025, in California at the age of 90. Known best for his collaborations with Garth Brooks, including Rodeo and the soul-stirring Unanswered Prayers, Bastion's words helped shape the emotional heart of modern country music. Born with the instincts of a cowboy and the heart of a philosopher, Bastion brought real life to every lyric. He didn't chase charts, he chased truth. In a 1991 liner note, Brooks recalled how the line, "Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers," came from a walk with Bastion down 18th Avenue. It wasn't planned, it was lived. That's who Larry was, a man who turned everyday wisdom into lasting melody. Beyond Brooks, he wrote for country greats like Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, Reba McEntire, and Buck Owens. Yet he remained humble, a teacher, a family man, a believer in letting boys be boys and raising kids with dirt on their boots and songs in their hearts. In his later years, Bastion stayed out of the spotlight but never lost his voice. That quiet wisdom echoed through generations. As his son Nick shared, Larry didn't just raise a family, he raised a way of life. Garth Brooks called him a great man, a poet, and a true friend. Country music calls him one of its purest storytellers.
It is, you know, and when we
and it
recorded,
makes people proud.
Yeah.
It's weird.
When we
love our
recorded it, we
filthy
had
water.
no idea. We had no idea.
You remember that song, don't you? A tribute to Larry Tamblin and the echo that never faded. Close your eyes for a moment. Can you still hear it? That swirling organ riff, gritty and alive, spilling out of a car radio on a summer evening. Love that dirty water. Larry Tamblin gave us that moment. As the founding keyboardist of the Standalls, Larry wasn't just playing music. He was laying down the soundtrack of a rebellious, youthful America. Born in 1943, he lived through the best of rock's rise and helped make it happen. His song Dirty Water became a classic, but more than that, it became part of our culture, a tune that still brings stadiums to their feet in Boston. Larry passed on March 21, 2025 at the age of 82 after complications from a rare blood disorder. But even in his later years, he never stopped creating. He reformed the band in 2009, toured again at age 71, and released a final album that proved his spirit never dimmed. He came from a family of artists, brother to Russ Tamblin, uncle to Amber Tamblin, but his legacy stood proudly on its own. In 2023, he was inducted into the California Music Hall of Fame, recognized for a lifetime of sound and soul. So here's a question just for you. Where were you the first time you heard Dirty Water? Take a moment, tell us in the comments, and let's honor Larry, not just for what he played, but for how his music still plays in us.
Going to be like, but I was on last year and the guy I was paired with was great, so I expect this fella.
If you have ever walked the red carpet at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival, or sat in a darkened theater on a rainy February evening discovering a new favorite film, you have felt the legacy of Phyllis Depicto. Phyllis passed peacefully on April 14, 2025, at the age of 84, following heart failure. But her spirit, visionary, resilient, and deeply passionate, continues to echo through every frame of the festival she helped bring to life. Born in Chicago in 1940 and later raised in Los Angeles, Phyllis always followed the pull of the arts. A sharp mind and an English literature major from Northwestern and UCLA, she stepped into the film world at a time when few women were making their mark. From designing flyers at Laemmle theaters to curating thought-provoking film series, she proved herself a force of creativity and courage. In 1983, she moved to Santa Barbara and planted the seeds of what would become one of America's most beloved film festivals. By February 1986, the Santa Barbara International Film Festival opened its doors, and with it, Phyllis opened the city to the world. Beyond cinema, Phyllis was a devoted wife, mother, grandmother, and community builder. She co-founded Baba2 Films with her husband, Stan Roden, and supported countless causes close to her heart. She once said, "Art should invite conversation, spark curiosity, and above all, connect us." And that's exactly what she did. She
day where everybody got blasted. You know, everybody. But
when the curtain falls on a life so deeply intertwined with the soul of Broadway, the echoes of her voice linger in every note and lyric. Mel Louise, beloved stage actress and muse to the legendary Stephen Sondheim, passed peacefully at the age of 90 on January 11, 2025, in Lake Katrina, New York, due to natural causes. Her journey began in Manhattan and led her through the heart of American theater. Mel graced the stage in 4 original Sondheim productions, Gypsy, Company, Sweeney Todd, and Into the Woods, each time bringing a unique depth and electricity to her roles. Her portrayal of the beggar woman in Sweeney Todd earned her a Drama Desk Award and a place in Broadway's pantheon of unforgettable voices. Offstage, Mel was as resilient and passionate as the women she portrayed. Raised in Pennsylvania and trained on her own initiative, she worked a day job to afford acting lessons in New York City, commuting via rail with a dream in her heart. That determination never waned, not even later in life, when she returned to school and earned a degree in psychology at 70. Her story is one of grace, grit, and great artistry. From regional stages to the lights of Broadway, from understudy to Sondheim staple, she embraced each chapter with humility and humor. Mel Louise may have left the stage, but her legacy, like the final strains of a moving ballad, remains. She reminded us all that true brilliance shines steadily, not just in the spotlight, but in the hearts she touched along the way. Pilar del Rey, a luminous presence in classic Hollywood and a proud trailblazer for Latina actresses, passed away peacefully on February 23, 2025, in Los Angeles at the age of 95. Her family shared that the cause was natural, gentle as the grace she brought to the screen. Born in Fort Worth, Texas in 1929, Del Rey moved to Hollywood at age 11 and would go on to attend Hollywood High School, the very heart of Golden Age cinema dreams. She began her film career with Johnny Stool Pigeon in 1949 and quickly became known for her compelling portrayals of Latina women in films such as The Miracle of Our Lady of Fatima and Black Horse Canyon. Yet it was her quiet, heartbreaking performance as Mrs. Obregon in the 1956 classic Giant, alongside Elizabeth Taylor and Rock Hudson, that etched her name into film history. Over 4 decades, Pilar built a career filled with dignity and depth, appearing in more than 30 television series including Sea Hunt, Daniel Boone, Police Story, and Simon & Simon. Her final screen appearance was in 1990's The Forbidden Dance, but her influence had already taken root in generations to come. A proud member of SAG since 1949, she was honored in 1995 by the AFTRA ESAG Latino Hispanic Heritage Celebration for her contributions to film and television. More than a performer, she was a beloved matriarch, raising 3 nephews as her own and known affectionately by them as Auntie Mame. Pilar del Rey's legacy is not just one of talent, but of resilience, representation, and quiet revolution in Hollywood's golden years. Her story continues to inspire all who seek truth and heart in their art.
Me could touch only a certain ilk of women, that they would believe it and hear it only from.
Cindiana Santangelo, a radiant spirit whose light graced both Hollywood screens and the lives of women in recovery, passed unexpectedly on March 24, 2025, at the age of 58. Known to many for her magnetic screen presence and even more for her compassionate heart, Cindiana's journey was one of resilience, reinvention, and generosity. Born Cindy Lehrer in Manhattan and raised in Los Angeles, she began her career as a dancer in iconic music videos, including Young MC's Bust a Move and Jane's Addiction's Stop, where her voice launched the track's unforgettable opening. Called The Latin Marilyn Monroe by Perry Farrell, she brought not only beauty but charisma and authenticity to every role. Television audiences will remember her as Sierra Madre, the unforgettable dancer at the Jiggly Room in Married, with Children, and for appearances on ER, CSI, Miami, and in the film Hollywood Homicide. But off-screen, her heart's work was even more profound. As founder and CEO of Mermaid's Cove Malibu, a luxury, sober living home for women, Cindiana created a sanctuary of healing and hope. Her commitment to women's wellness and recovery was deeply personal, and her nurturing spirit helped transform lives. Her passing followed a medical emergency at her Malibu home. Though the cause is still under review, her family, friends, and community continue to reflect on the impact of her warmth, courage, and service. Cindiana is survived by her loving husband Frank and their 2 sons, Dante and Lucci. She will be remembered not just as a talented actress and model, but as a mother, mentor, and friend who turned her own challenges into pathways for others to heal. Her story is a reminder of how one soul, deeply rooted in empathy and creativity, can uplift so many.
And I think that's a legacy of perseverance.
Breaking news: Jaime Lee Curtis, from final girl to fierce advocate, the powerful evolution of a Hollywood survivor. Brace yourself. This is not just another celebrity story. It is a journey of survival, self-discovery, and a woman who never backed down, not from fame, not from fear, and certainly not from herself. Jaime Lee Curtis is more than the scream queen who ran from masked killers in haunted houses. She is a mother, an activist, a late-blooming Oscar winner, and a truth-teller. And if you think you know her story, think again. Born on November 22, 1958 in Santa Monica, California, Jaime Lee was Hollywood royalty from the jump, daughter of cinematic icons Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh. But instead of riding her last name to comfort, she chose challenge. Her breakthrough role came at just 19, when she starred as Laurie Strode in Halloween, 1978. The movie didn't just catapult her into stardom, it cemented her as the ultimate, final girl in horror cinema. And she held on to that title, returning to it across decades, always with more depth and grit than the last time. But Jaime was never content to live in one genre. She stretched. She sparkled in comedies like Trading Places, 1983, A Fish Called Wanda, 1988, and Freaky Friday, 2003, showing off sharp timing and serious heart. And then came True Lies, 1994, where she flipped the idea of a spy wife on its head and redefined what sexy, funny, and powerful could look like, all at once. Behind the scenes, though, things were harder. In the late 80s and early 90s, Curtis was quietly dealing with personal struggles. She has been open about grappling with emotional pain, perfectionism, and the silent pressure of maintaining an image. A seemingly minor cosmetic procedure ended up triggering years of private turmoil. For nearly a decade, she lived with a secret that no one, not even those closest to her, knew about. That all changed in 1998, when her sister discovered what Jaime had been hiding and encouraged her to seek help. She did, and she has never looked back. Curtis has now been open about her recovery journey for over 2 decades. In fact, she often calls it the single most important thing she has ever done, even more significant than any award. Healing, she says, is not a moment. It is a lifelong commitment. And that raw honesty, it has made people love her all the more. Her career, meanwhile, never lost momentum. In fact, it gained new fire. In 2022, she delivered a show-stopping turn in Everything Everywhere All at Once, earning her first Academy Award. It was not just a win, it was vindication. Proof that reinvention is possible at any age. That same year, she stunned audiences again in The Bear, snagging an Emmy for her powerful guest role. It was a reminder. Curtis never stopped being one of the most magnetic forces in Hollywood. We were just catching up. And then there is her life off screen. Curtis is a proud wife, married since 1984 to writer-director-musician Christopher Guest, and a loving mom. When her youngest child came out as transgender, Curtis embraced the news with compassion and unconditional support. "I am proud to be the mother of a trans daughter," she told the press in 2022. Her words were simple, but they echoed loudly in a world still learning what acceptance truly means. She has used her platform for more than entertainment. Jaime has published multiple best-selling children's books and spoken up about adoption, aging, body positivity, and the fluidity of gender identity. Her voice is clear, her message consistent: be kind, be open, and be real. Of course, being outspoken also comes with pushback. In 2023, during heightened global tensions, Curtis mistakenly posted a photo of distressed Palestinian children, thinking they were Israeli victims. The post was taken down swiftly, but not before it sparked backlash. Then, in early 2025, she compared wildfire destruction in Los Angeles' Pacific Palisades to war zones like Gaza, an emotional statement that many found inappropriate. She responded by pledging $1 million to wildfire relief efforts, but the controversy lingered. The following year, she drew criticism again when she publicly said the Marvel Cinematic Universe was in a bad phase. She later admitted it was a careless comment, calling it stupid, and even reached out to Marvel executives to make things right. Her advocacy for gender-neutral awards, inspired by her daughter, also divided opinion. While many praised her for inclusivity, others worried it would sideline the unique struggles of women and non-binary performers. But through every stumble, Curtis has done what few in Hollywood are willing to do: own it. She has never shied away from apologizing when needed, nor has she backed down from what she believes in. That blend of humility and boldness is what continues to earn her respect from fans, peers, and critics alike. In her personal life, Curtis lives by a philosophy of mindfulness and moderation. She often speaks about mental health, the importance of authenticity, and the need to let go of perfection. Her long marriage and tight-knit family have grounded her through every twist and turn, and she is still going strong. In 2025, she signed on to lead a new Amazon Prime Video series based on the Kay Scarpetta novels, a fresh challenge for someone who seems endlessly capable of reinventing herself. She continues to make public appearances, write, speak out, and show up for the causes and people she cares about. So where is Jaime Lee Curtis now? She is exactly where she has fought so hard to be, living a life of purpose, compassion, and unapologetic honesty. From horror films to healing work, from red carpets to raw conversations, Curtis has never followed the script others wrote for her. She tore it up. She made her own. And through it all, she has reminded us that true power does not come from being perfect. It comes from being real. What part of Jaime Lee Curtis's journey speaks to you most? Her fierce independence? Her second chances? Her willingness to grow? Share your thoughts below, and if this story touched you, hit like and subscribe for more stories of resilience and reinvention from Hollywood's most inspiring stars. Because if there is one thing Jaime Lee Curtis teaches us, it is this: you can always come back stronger. And this time, with your whole self.